I went to watch the Five Nights at Freddy's movie with my friend when it was first shown. Since then, I've been thinking about it and the Silver Eyes trilogy. Keep in mind, I've only read the graphic novels, but I plan on reading the full books someday. Context: the movie came out around Halloween last year after being in the works for about 8 years, and the Silver Eyes trilogy is a series of 6 books released 2015 that take place in an alternative universe to the games. My theory is mainly about how the movie parallels the books. I'd like to point out how closely they pair up with each other. First, there's the obvious connection of Afton being a child killer. In both the books and the movie, he takes on another identity. In the book, it's Dave Miller. In the movie, it's Steve Raglan. William has a daughter called Vanessa. She's a police officer who watches over the area where Freddy's is located. She's tasked her dad to keep the night guard from finding out what had been going on within Freddy's. Our main characters, Abby and Michael, parallels to Charlie and Carlton. Mike and Charlie are there to drive the story, while Abby and Carlton are just going along but end up becoming the heroes of their stories. At Freddy's, Charlie gets hooked as Mike did in the movies, both by Foxy. Carlton also gets put in a Springlock suit, like Abby almost did. One thing to note is that when Chica lured Abby in to be put in the Alice Springlock suit, she lured her in the way that Springtrap would lure children in. As a character herself, Abby's more like Charlie. Obviously, there's the Charlie arcade scene that is also present in the movie, but with Abby. Anyways, here's my crazy theory. Abby is a robot child made by their dad after Garrett died. In the books, Sammy is missing, and in the movie, it's Garrett. We know that Sammy and Charlie's mom are alive and well, but not part of her life. Could be the same as Dad in this case. She might be possessed by Garrett or by the grief caused by Garrett's kidnapping and death. A big parallel between her and Garrett is shown as Mike gives up on her to have the idea of his old family back. In the movie, she also says, "It's like camping," while she builds a fort. I gotta be honest, I don't think she ever went camping. I don't think her family or Mike ever went camping because they had a child snatched and killed while camping. Abby acts very childlike, in a way that seems younger than her own age. She uses pictures to express what she cannot express verbally. Her teacher also mentions to Mike. She says that before children learn to speak, they use pictures to understand the world around them. That is the same case with the animatronics. Their memories and entire worldview is on that wall. In the books, it's a similar thing, but in the books they change and display a sequence of Springtrap killing a child. Both years it ends with Abby and Carlton drawing how the children died, which makes them turn against Afton. Carlton got to talk to the dead kids by getting injected with Remnant. So I think the Freddy's in the movies might be filled with Remnant in itself. That could be how Mike gets dreams, similar to Carlton. Static from the dreams can also be heard over the speakers. However, that doesn't explain how Abby communicates with the animatronics. But what if we say she's a possessed robot kid like Charlie? There could be a possibility that she can see and speak to them, simply because she is not human herself. Or maybe she has had Remnant in her when she was built. We never see Charlie go near where the ghost children were when Carlton talked to them. And we know that they can choose when to be seen and when not to be seen. And then there's the whole thing with Golden Freddy. Is he manifestation, spirit manifestation? Is he real because he's in the taxi but he's not? He vanishes outside the pizzeria? It's weird. She also draws the children. Mike sees them in his dreams. She also drew the scene of Garrett kidnapped for staying in the pizzeria with Mike for a night. Another crazy thing I thought of is Vanessa could be adult Abby. Like adult Charlie. Stolen and adjusted by William Afton. Possibly possessed by Elizabeth. I mean, they both get stabbed at the end of their stories. They're not really, can you say, allowed to have their own emotions. Like in the books, adult Charlie is not allowed to have emotions and become real as she watches the child robot Charlie become sentient of grief and love, while she only became sentient of fury and regret. In the movie, Vanessa is told by her dad what she has to do. If she steps out of line, it's not gonna end well for her. Probably mad at her for killing his real daughter and only sees her as a tool. A lot of daddy issues on both sides. There is a picture of Vanessa as a child, but we don't know, that could also just be Elizabeth. And she mentioned that she remembers screaming, but that could also be how baby remembered killing Elizabeth from both perspectives. predictions for the future movies is that they might follow a similar pattern to the books, but better. This movie was a mix of the first book and all of the books at once because of the ending. Like how William got springlocked in the first book and survived, but in the games, he died. I think he might return in the second movie. I feel like they're gonna continue past what the books had set up and only used it to reimagine the idea for the first movie. My first ever Five Nights at Freddy's theory. Bye!